joining us this evening as we celebrate 50 years of service at the Westboro Rotary Club. Again, my name is Elliot Rittenberg, and I'm proud and privileged to serve as the club's president for the 2019-2020 Rotary year. 50 years ago, Nelson Ball, our club's founder and first president, had a vision to bring Rotary, known for its commitment to our motto, service above self, and its high ethical standards, to Westboro. As a result of Nelson's inspiration, hundreds of area residents have become Rotarians, making a difference in our community. Over the years, our club has donated more than $1 million to local and international causes. And of that, more than $500,000 has funded scholarships for graduating Westboro High School seniors. And these financial contributions are only part of the story. Hundreds of club service projects have made a positive impact both here in Westboro and around the world. Local projects have included lighting the downtown area during the holidays, clothing drives, food drives, youth leadership training, support of many local organizations, and new for this year, programs addressing environmental and substance use and health education issues in partnership with other organizations here in town. Now, Rotary is a global organization, and our club has participated in numerous international projects. These projects build bridges and relationships and foster peace and understanding while addressing needs consistent with our areas of focus. Our Global Emergency Medicine Initiative brings training and emergency medicine expertise and equipment to developing countries around the world. And this spring, a team of Rotarians traveled to Guatemala to install more than 100 stoves where residents cook meals over open fires, exposing them to serious health issues by breathing combustion gases. Now, I'd like to take a moment to show you the result of one such project made possible through the generosity of Nelson and the Ball family.
Rotarians across the globe live by what we call the four-way test, which is as follows. Of the things we think, say, and do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Earlier in 2019, an ambulance was donated to the municipal firemen of Las Delicias, Guatemala, through Gemini, the Global Emergency Medicine Initiative, an international service program of the Rotary Club of Westboro. The project was the result of a collaboration between the Coatepeque Columba Rotary Club and Gemini, and most importantly, through the financial support and goodwill of a Westboro Rotarian. The ambulance, housed in a fire station located adjacent to a main road, provides 24/7 emergency service to the residents of 4 large communities on the coast of Guatemala. To date, the trained emergency responders have averaged more than 10 calls per day. This year, several hundred children, pregnant mothers, and adults alike have been transported to hospitals in the ambulance, and countless lives have been saved. The director of the fire station, Mr. Eric Sempe, expresses gratitude to Gemini and to the Westboro Rotary Club. In particular, Mr. Sempe wants to acknowledge Nelson and Sylvia Ball, who served as the project's largest individual benefactors. This ambulance, providing vital services to the community, would not exist without their tireless and unwavering support. The team at the fire station has opened their doors and extends an invitation for all Rotarians to visit. 50 years ago, a person had the inspiration to initiate the Rotary Club of Westboro. 50 years later, the president of Rotary International, a man named Barry Rassin, asked Rotarians worldwide to be the inspiration. Nelson Ball has been the inspiration during the last 50 years and continues to be that very inspiration. No doubt, Nelson Ball is a man who lives by Rotary's four-way test.
So I've asked Kathy and Betsy to join us. Betsy is our immediate past president, and Kathy is our next president serving after me, and to just demonstrate the continuity of leadership, and also because Betsy was brought into our club by Nelson as a member. So we want to take this moment to recognize Nelson for all he's done for our club and the community. The founder of Rotary was a businessman by the name of Paul Harris. And in his honor, Rotary created an award called the Paul Harris Fellow to recognize someone for their contributions to our charitable foundation or to the community. Tonight we recognize Nelson for all he has done for our club and for our community by presenting him with a Paul Harris pin with 3 rubies. This is one of the most prestigious awards offered by Rotary. So as Betsy, whom as I said Nelson brought into the club, pins the pin onto Nelson, can we please stand and give him a round of applause?
Yeah, Nelson.
So, Nelson, the floor is yours, sir.
How late are we going?
Really, you gonna
As
come
long as you
stand with
need.
him?
Yeah.
I don't know what all these are in there.
Yeah. You gonna come stand with him?
Come on, sunshine. You want to do it?
No. She's there to time you though.
Well, it's hard to believe that it was 50 years ago that we worked for 9 months to achieve about 25 members for the Rotary Club, because you had to have 25 people to charter a Rotary Club. And you couldn't proselyte from some other Reliance or Civitan. You had to be all unaffiliated. So let me tell you, it was quite a job, but we did get 25 people to do that. We were actually sponsored by the Shrewsbury Rotary Club, and the committee met in a trailer that was parked on East Main Street. You know where the Santander Bank is, but that was once the Worcester County National Bank. And the first treasurer we had was his bank coming up, so we met in his trailer. And that's where we formed the club itself. Our first meetings were held in the fall of 1968, and that was at the golf course on Route 9. Indian Meadow. Indian Meadow Golf Club, that's where we first started. And we received our charter actually in March of 1969. In fact, a picture is out there on that memorabilia showing me receiving the charter itself. We were only about 6 months old. Rotary pulled a little stone on us, and they changed the corporate calendar year from January to July. And that meant we'd only been in office for 6 months. We'd have to order and have a new slate of officers. And being a young club, we were kind of worried that might shake things up a little too much. So the existing group of officers, that slate, held their office for 18 months. Now, I'm sure some of you have been presidents of organizations, and when your first year was up, you breathed a sigh of relief, right? After 18 months, I was ready to give that gavel back. I really was. Just kidding. On our first meeting, excuse me, we were, I gotta flip the page, right? Rotary was very strict at that time. It was known as a classification process, and there was only one classification. You were the doctor, you were the lawyer, you were the banker, and that was it. But you know, that did kind of restrict things a little bit, so though it wasn't exactly legal, we kind of expanded, let's say, that definition, and that we were able to welcome many more people. So we'd have a real estate lawyer, a patent lawyer, we'd have an estate lawyer, but anyway, that's why we were able to build a club. At that time, you had to attend your club, and if you didn't attend your own club meeting, you had to make up a week before or a week after. And with the club which you visited, it was necessary you get a card signed by the secretary that said you had made up the meeting. You either mailed that or took it back to your club. And believe it or not, there's a list out there on the table you might be interested with our attendance. It was actually an attendance record which went to the district governor, and we were rated each month by our attendance. It wasn't a bad idea. I mean, it was okay. But you can make that up any way you chose. There's probably I think it's safe to say, a Rotary Club going on every minute of every hour around this world. I'm not sure the number. Someone knows the number? 30, 40,000?
35,000.
35,000, yeah. So there's always one you can make up. So a lot of our, I didn't say make out, I said make up. I'll leave it there. We did it in several places. One time we did it in Italy. And I drove out.
Now we're talking about
This, should I tell her that? I made up. Let me finish this and you might think differently. We went out, this fella picked me up, and I've done a lot of traveling, and he drove and he drove and he drove, and I said, God, where is this guy taking me? And I had a big stick knife in my pollock. I took it out and I put it in my other pocket. And all of a sudden we drive up, we come to this racetrack, believe it or not. And that's where that meeting was held. And it went on for 3 hours. And so I figured out, how am I going to get home? But the guy, they wouldn't even let me call a cab. One of the guys says, I'm going to take you home. They put me at a table. One was the head of the medical school. One was the head of the atomic school. One was the head of optical. I mean, they're all very fluent in English, and I had a great time with them, except the only reason I was able to tell what was going on, the gentleman had enough slides about how they created Venice and all the canals. But now they got home. I got home about 11 o'clock, and we stopped at the hotel. Remember? Oh, you were upstairs. And there were several, let's say, beautifully dressed young ladies who greeted me at the door. And that's all I'll say. The most ambitious early project that we did was the Rotary Golf Course. Who drove balls at the Rotary Golf Course? Hey, all right. Well, that was really quite an undertaking for a small club. Let me tell you, the owner of the property was Dick Gannon, who owned Dick Gannon Motors on, actually was first on East Main, then on Route 9. And he let us have the land, which was pretty good sized acreage. It's where CarMax is right now, if any of you weren't here before. And I think we paid maybe $7,000 for it. And every Rotarian and wives pledged 2 weeks to work on the golf club either day and night. And we'd be out there at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, picking up balls with handballs. It was quite a task. And then what happened, finally Beansy White came along. I don't know if you remember Beansy. He owned the Westboro Auto Repair place, and he'd buy these old clunkers. He'd fix them up. He found an old ball picker for us. And then what he had to do was put wire mesh around all the windows, because I'll tell you, the greatest delight to the golfers were to hit that truck. When that vehicle was out there picking up balls, they just couldn't wait to hit it. Then we had another member who was named Dale Chambers. Some of you may know. And he worked for Titleist. He got us thousands of great balls for nothing. The only trouble was, the good golfers, we had nets. How was a telephone pole? 40 feet, maybe something? 35, 40 feet. Nets, 250 feet away. Some of them could put it over. And what would happen, the balls would go over, the kids would steal them off the back of the fence and take and sell them at the local golf club. So we finally, to the dismay of some of the golfers, we had to buy rubber core, range balls and such. They don't go nearly as far. Anyway, that's what it came to. And I tell you, that was the only driving range here, and we actually netted between $50,000 and $100,000 off of that project. And everybody in Westboro was there in line looking for money, and we gave out a lot of those dollars. That's where the initial amount came. Whoever had said $1 million, I don't want to correct them, but I'm pretty sure that the scholarship alone is almost $750,000. So we gave many others besides that. Our very first fundraiser was a pancake breakfast. And if you remember, we served pancakes and sausage. Can't do that today because nobody will eat it. We had to change it finally. Anyway, it worked for a long time. We made a lot of money. The very next morning, there was a caricature in the Worcester Telegram. It was me and the gentleman who owned the Howard Johnsons in the sketch. And he was saying, congratulations to the chef. You produced 4,400 pancakes. And I think they arrived at that. Believe it or not, we sold 1,400 tickets for that first one. And I don't think it was, some guys paid for their tickets, but there were no meals made. But anyway, I'll bet you we did make probably 2,000 to 3,000 pancakes. It was really quite an adventure. Then more and more people stopped it, and we haven't done it. The other first for our early year clubs was the lighting of downtown. The Christmas we are known for mostly. That was a terrific project. We'd get together on Saturday morning at the Central House. Who was the woman that, what's the family that owned that? Who knows? Dan Dan, yeah. Helen Dan Dan. Helen Van Dam would prepare breakfast for us. Then we'd all go down freezing down to the Rotary. We assemble all the units together for the arrival of Santa Claus. And then there was another one of our members, Paul Imsey. Some of you may know. He was about 6'4", huh? Tom Imsey, about 6'4". He's a professor at Holy Cross, right? And he was so thin, he could get underneath it. So we'd all wait for Tom to go under and bolt all the pieces together, and then we'd be able to go away. And the other thing we did, we used to go down and sell pins at the town dump. Any of you know been down there doing that? You know how cold it is. I think it's the coldest place in town, for goodness sake. We raised a lot of money, and people, although they were a buck, they'd give us $3, $4. So that's how we paid for electricity for it. After that, you know, let me finish up here. I'm proud to say that's enough. There's a lot of stories, but I don't have the time to take it. Rotary was one of the first clubs in the area, you'll like this, to welcome women Rotarians. They really brought a lot to our club. They've done a super job for us, and we truly do appreciate them.
Nelson gets a little segment. Our members have worked on so many projects locally, nationally, and internationally, demonstrating our motto, service above self. I have truly been blessed to have met and known and worked with so many wonderful Rotarians for the last 50 years, and look forward to celebrating our 75th anniversary with many of you. Thank you very much.
If anybody exemplifies the motto of service above self, it's that man right there. There's a whole bunch of people that helped put this event together tonight, and I'm not going to name them all. We work together as a team. You know who you are, and I thank every one of you. But there's one person I am going to thank, and that's Marie Kirby. Marie worked tirelessly putting the auction together, putting all the decorations that you see together. We couldn't have done this without her, and I thank you personally, Marie. I'd also like to just take one moment to introduce Diana Nestrova. Diana, where are you? Diana is the incoming, district governor-elect, and she'll be governor of our District 7910 starting in 2020. In July 1st, 2020, and we look forward to having her on the team. Our past district governor and member of our club, Steve Sager, is standing over here. So with all that, we're going to move on to the live auction. Before we do, just remember, keep bidding on the silent auction items. We have the wine toss outside, the 50-50, and the photo booth. So take advantage of all those things. So with that, I'd like to introduce our live auctioneer. We're so pleased to have him with us. Is no one other than Dave Andelman, the Phantom Gourmet. So,
Thank you very much for having me. This is an important town to me. Arturo's is one of my favorite restaurants. It's, thank you. It's on the way to Mendon Twin Drive-In, which my brothers and I bought a few years ago, America's most beloved drive-in. I wrote that and put it on all the staff shirts. And a man who was like a guidance counselor, therapist, doctor to me, Ryan Maloney from Julio's Liquors is my official junior liquor store. So. I am a geek that went to law school. I read a lot of books, a lot of history, and something that is different about America from the very beginning, we didn't have a king here. We didn't assume that we would have a giant government that would solve all our problems. When people came to America, going back to Tocqueville, way back, they said, these Americans are different. They form groups on their own of talented, passionate people with resources, and they just go out and solve problems themselves. So what you do is really following in America's oldest, greatest tradition. You've done it for 50 years, and as somebody that is born and bred local, that owns homes and businesses here, I really thank you for everything that you do. Please keep it up. All right.
And thank the Westbury Rotary Club, congratulate it on its 50th anniversary. I know that the Rotary Club here, Rotary clubs throughout the district I represent, across the state, the country, and the world, give back in so many ways. And obviously the proceeds from tonight are going to go to some very good purposes. So I want to come by and thank you, to congratulate you. And I have two citations. I first have a citation from your state representatives, who are Representative Danielle Gregoire, Representative Carolyn Dykema, and Representative Hannah Kane. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight. And I also have a state Senate citation, and Elliot, if I could just present it to you. And it just says, State Senate official citation. Be it hereby known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to the Rotary Club of Westboro in recognition of your 50th year anniversary. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success. And this is signed by Senate President Karen Spilka and your state senator, Jamie Eldridge. So congratulations, thank you, and have a wonderful night.